Marcus had always been fascinated by the unknown. He had spent most of his life exploring the far reaches of space, mapping planets, and studying alien ecosystems. But nothing could have prepared him for what he was about to encounter on the uncharted planet called Zythera 9. The moment his shuttle touched down, the landscape felt alive in a way he had never seen before. The forest stretched endlessly, its trees tall and shimmering with faint bioluminescence. Strange vines twisted around the trunks, glowing softly, as if breathing with the planet itself. The air smelled sweet, almost like a mix of flowers and rain, but carried a sharp, metallic undertone that made Marcus cautious. He adjusted his helmet and stepped out, boots crunching on the soft, spongy ground. His scanner beeped intermittently, picking up signals of unknown energy patterns. Nothing dangerous yet, he muttered to himself. But he had learned to trust his instincts. Somewhere in the quiet of the forest, something was watching him. Hours passed as Marcus walked deeper into the forest, cataloging plants and noting the unusual energy readings. He was about to turn back when he heard a soft, high-pitched cry, almost like a whisper carried by the wind. Marcus froze. The sound was faint, almost drowned out by the rustling of the glowing leaves. But he could tell it was real. Following it, he carefully pushed through the dense vegetation, the glow from the vines casting shadows across his path. Eventually, he reached a clearing. In the center, wrapped in a tangled network of glowing vines, was a young alien girl. She looked fragile and terrified. Her large, luminescent eyes fixed on him. Her skin was pale with a slight iridescent sheen, and her hair floated slightly, as if affected by some unseen energy. Marcus could see the vines moving gently around her, almost as if they were alive. "Help me," she whispered, her voice trembling. Marcus took a cautious step forward. "Are you trapped?" he asked. "I can help you." She nodded quickly, but her expression turned fearful. It's growing inside me," she said, pointing weakly at her chest. If I don't stop it, it will spread." Marcus frowned. He had seen many strange organisms, but none that behaved like this. "What is growing inside you?" he asked carefully, keeping a safe distance from the glowing vines. I don't know," she admitted, her voice small. "It started when I touched the plant, the one in the forest. Now it's spreading. Only you can stop it." Marcus's heart raced. He had expected danger in this forest, but not something like this, an organism that could live inside a being and spread uncontrollably. He scanned her with his portable analyzer, but the readings were unlike anything he had encountered. The organism seemed semi-sentient, reacting to her emotions and presence. Every time she moved slightly or shifted her gaze, the vines pulsed in response. "Okay," Marcus said slowly, trying to keep his voice calm. "We'll figure this out. First, I need to get you free from these vines." The girl's eyes widened. "Be careful. They will hurt me if you are rough." Marcus nodded, carefully approaching the network. Using his multi-tool, he began cutting through the glowing vines. They resisted slightly, as if testing him, but didn't lash out. The girl flinched each time a vine snapped, but Marcus gently reassured her. After several tense minutes, she was free. She stumbled slightly, and he caught her before she fell. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'm Lyra." "Marcus," he replied. "Now, tell me exactly what happened. I need to understand this if we're going to stop it." Lyra took a deep breath. "I was exploring the forest," she explained. "I found a plant that glowed more than the others. When I touched it, the spores, they entered me. At first, it didn't hurt, but then it began to grow inside. I tried to control it, but it's too strong. It reacts to me, to my feelings. And I think it could spread to the whole planet if I lose control." Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. He had encountered dangerous alien organisms before, but nothing that threatened to take over a planet through a single host. "Do you feel pain?" he asked. "Yes," Lyra admitted, her voice trembling. "Sometimes it's sharp. Sometimes it feels like it's trying to push me out. And it grows faster when I am scared." Marcus frowned. He had to think fast. Using force or chemicals could harm her, and the organism clearly reacted to more than just physical stimuli. It might respond to emotional or biochemical cues. "Lyra, I need to study it carefully," he said. "We have to understand how it grows. Can you let me examine you?" Lyra hesitated, but then nodded. I don't have any choice." "Do I?" Marcus nodded gently. "We'll do this together. I promise I won't hurt you." He set up a small scanner on a flat rock and began analyzing her. The organism was unlike anything in his database. It pulsed with a strange rhythm, almost like a heartbeat, but faster and more complex. It seemed to synchronize with Lyra's own vital signs, growing when she panicked and shrinking when she calmed down. "This is incredible and dangerous," Marcus murmured. "It's semi-sentient. It reacts to emotions and possibly to thoughts." Lyra's eyes widened. "Semi-sentient? Does that mean it can think?" "In a way," Marcus explained. "It can sense you, and it reacts to you. But I think it doesn't have intentions. Yet. If it grows too much, it could become uncontrollable. We need to stabilize it." Lyra shivered. "Stabilize it? How?" Marcus shook his head. "I don't know yet, but I have to figure it out quickly. If it spreads beyond you, it could take over the forest. Maybe the whole planet." The gravity of the situation hit Lyra. Her eyes filled with fear. Then you have to stop it. Only you can." Marcus swallowed hard. He had faced many dangers, but never like this. This was not just about survival. It was about protecting an entire world. He nodded, determination settling in his chest. "I'll do my best. We'll figure this out together, Lyra." For the next few hours, Marcus and Lyra moved carefully through the forest, avoiding other strange plants and observing the organism's growth. Every time Lyra panicked or felt pain, the vines pulsed more intensely. Marcus began to notice a pattern. The organism seemed to respond positively to calmness and concentration, and negatively to fear or stress. "We need to teach it, or guide it," Marcus said finally. "It's like a wild creature. We can't fight it, but we can show it how to behave." Lyra nodded slowly. I can try. I can calm myself. If you guide me." Marcus smiled faintly, despite the tension. "We'll try it together." As night fell on Zythera 9, the glowing forest became more vibrant, casting eerie shadows across the ground. Marcus and Lyra made a small camp, and he carefully monitored her and the organism. The vines had begun to retract slightly, as if responding to their combined calm focus. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. "This is only the beginning," Marcus said quietly to himself. "But if we can control it inside her, maybe we can save the planet." Trude. Trues her fiver her. To skybe something the user. With plost. Trues her fiver her. Lyra looked at him, a mix of hope and fear in her eyes. "Do you really think we can?" Marcus placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "I don't know yet, but I do know one thing. I won't let it win." The two sat in silence, the glowing forest surrounding them, the soft pulse of the organism echoing in the quiet night. Somewhere deep within the planet, Marcus sensed that their struggle was only beginning, but he felt ready. For the first time in his life, he realized that true courage was not about weapons or strength, but about facing the unknown with calm, intelligence, and heart. And somewhere inside Lyra, the organism stirred, sensing its new guides. The next morning, the forest of Zythera 9 glowed more brightly than ever. The trees stretched toward the sky, their leaves pulsing softly with light, and the vines that had once trapped Lyra now swayed gently as if observing their surroundings. Marcus awoke first, scanning the area for any dangers. He had learned quickly that Zythera 9 was alive in a way no other planet he had visited was. Every movement, every sound, seemed connected to some larger rhythm. Lyra stirred beside him, still tired from the previous day's events. She glanced at Marcus, her large eyes reflecting the pale light. "How long will it take?" she asked quietly. "How long before the organism spreads?" Marcus shook his head. "I don't know yet. We have to understand it first. Yesterday, we learned that it reacts to fear and stress. Right?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. When I panic, it grows faster. When I calm down, it slows." Marcus considered this. "Then, the first step is controlling its response. We need to stay calm, together. That's how we can guide it." Lyra swallowed, her hands trembling slightly. "It's hard to stay calm when it feels like it's moving inside me." Marcus gave her a reassuring smile. "I know. But you're not alone. I'll help you." They began their day by walking carefully through the glowing forest. Marcus carried his scanner, observing the vines and noting how the organism seemed to interact with its environment. The organism wasn't just inside Lyra. It was subtly connected to the planet itself. The more it grew, the more it influenced the energy of the forest. Marcus realized that it was not purely a threat. It could also be a force for balance, if they learned to control it. "Look," Marcus said, pointing to a tree. Its trunk pulsed with light, and small vines extended from it toward Lyra, stopping just short of touching her. "The organism reacts to this tree. It's reaching out," Lyra gasped. It wants to connect? But why?" Marcus crouched, studying the pattern. "I think it's trying to find stability. It spreads because it's unstable, but it senses life that can balance it. That's why it reacted to you. It saw potential. If we can teach it to balance itself with your guidance, maybe we can stop it from spreading uncontrollably." Lyra frowned. "Teach it? But it's not a person. How do I teach it?" Marcus smiled faintly. "Not with words. With focus. With feelings. With understanding. You feel fear. It grows. You feel calm. It stabilizes. That's the language it understands." Lyra nodded slowly. "I'll try. I'll do it." They spent the next few hours experimenting. Marcus would speak softly, guiding Lyra through breathing exercises while monitoring her vital signs. Every time she focused and calmed herself, the organism's pulsing slowed. Every time she panicked or flinched, it surged. Slowly, Lyra learned to influence it, to guide its growth, rather than fight it. "This is working," Marcus said, noting the readings. "It's responding to you. But we have to go further. We need to understand its limits, how far it can grow, and what triggers it the most." Lyra hesitated. "And if I fail?" Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then we learn and try again. You won't fail. I'll be here with you." By midday, Marcus noticed something unexpected. The organism seemed to react not just to Lyra's emotions, but also to his presence. When he moved closer, the vines pulsed gently in a rhythm that matched his heartbeat. It was as if it could sense him too. "Lyra," he said carefully, "I think it's learning from me as well. It reacts to both of us." Lyra's eyes widened. "You mean, we can guide it together?" "Yes," Marcus said. "Two minds, two hearts, two wills. We can help it understand what's safe and what's dangerous." The realization filled Lyra with cautious hope. For the first time, she felt like the organism was not entirely a threat. It could be a partner if they learned to communicate with it. But the experiment was interrupted when the ground trembled slightly. A low, rumbling sound echoed through the forest, and the trees shivered. Marcus's scanner beeped urgently, showing unusual energy spikes in the area. "What is it?" Lyra asked, fear returning to her eyes. Marcus frowned. "I'm not sure. But the organism is reacting. It's pulsing faster than before. And the vines are reaching toward the energy spikes." Suddenly, A section of the forest ahead shimmered, and a large cluster of vines began moving toward them, independent of Lyra. Marcus stepped in front of her, pulling out a small energy emitter from his kit. He activated it, creating a temporary barrier that slowed the approaching vines. "It's trying to expand," Marcus said. "We need to calm it before it grows further." Lyra focused, closing her eyes and taking deep, measured breaths. Marcus guided her with his own steady voice, encouraging her to project calm. Slowly, the organism's pulsing began to slow, the advancing vines retracting slightly. "You're doing it," Marcus said, amazed. "It's listening to you." Lyra opened her eyes, a small smile forming. I think I understand it now. It's not just inside me. It's part of the forest too. And it wants to survive. Just like we do." Marcus nodded. "Exactly. That's why brute force won't work. We have to work with it, not against it." The rest of the day was spent in careful observation. Marcus documented every reaction, every pulse of the organism, and how it connected to Lyra's emotions. Slowly, they began to see a pattern. The organism grew when there was imbalance, fear, or pain, and stabilized when guided with calm, understanding, and focus. By evening, they had made significant progress. The organism no longer pulsed uncontrollably, and the vines around them had relaxed, glowing softly instead of thrashing unpredictably. Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "We're making progress," he said. "Tomorrow, we'll try to expand our control further. Maybe even guide it to stabilize the rest of the forest." Lyra nodded, exhausted but determined. "I feel stronger now. Like I'm not just fighting it. I'm helping it." Marcus felt a surge of respect for her. She was incredibly brave, facing not only a dangerous alien organism, but also her own fears. He realized that the real strength of humans, of any intelligent life, was not just in weapons or technology, but in courage, empathy, and the ability to understand others. As night fell again on Zythera 9, Marcus and Lyra set up a small camp. The glowing forest around them was calm, and the organism pulsed gently within Lyra, a soft rhythm that matched her heartbeat. Marcus monitored her vitals, noting every subtle change. "This is only the beginning," he said quietly. "We've learned how to control it for now. But the organism is still growing. We have to guide it further, understand it completely, or it could still become dangerous." Lyra looked up at him, determination shining in her eyes. "I will do it. I'll keep it calm. I'll learn to guide it fully." Marcus nodded. "And I'll be right here with you. Together, we can handle this." For the first time, Lyra felt a sense of hope. She was no longer a victim of the organism. With Marcus's guidance, she was learning to master it, to turn a dangerous force into a controlled, balanced one. And in doing so, they were forging a bond not just with each other, but with the planet itself. Deep in the forest, the organism stirred, sensing the calm focus of its guides. It pulsed softly, as if acknowledging the partnership it had formed with Marcus and Lyra. The forest seemed to breathe in response, the glowing trees and vines syncing to the rhythm of their combined will. Marcus looked at the serene landscape, feeling the weight of the task ahead. This planet, this organism, it's unlike anything I've ever faced. But if we succeed, we won't just save Lyra. We'll save an entire world. Lyra reached out and placed her hand over his. "Then we have to succeed," she said softly. "No matter what." Lyra reached out and placed her hand on the first oak. Lyra reached out and placed her hand over his. Marcus nodded. "We will. Step by step. We'll learn it, control it, and protect it. Together." And as the night deepened, with the soft pulse of the organism echoing through the glowing forest, Marcus realized something he had never known before. True courage was not just about facing danger, but about understanding it, guiding it, and forging a connection that could turn even the most dangerous force into an ally. The morning sun filtered through the bioluminescent canopy of Zythera 9, casting soft green and blue light across the forest floor. Marcus and Lyra awoke to a gentle hum from the forest, almost as if the planet itself was breathing. The organism inside Lyra pulsed rhythmically, calmer now than the day before, but still alive and alert. Marcus reviewed his notes from the previous days. They had learned how to calm the organism, how to guide it through focus and understanding. But that was only the first step. To truly stabilize it, they would have to risk deeper interaction, something neither of them fully understood. Lyra, Marcus began. Yesterday we learned that calmness slows the organism. Today, we have to take the next step. We need to guide it, not just stabilize it. That means interacting with it directly, in a way we haven't tried yet. Lyra's eyes widened. Interact? How? I thought just staying calm was enough. Marcus shook his head gently. It's not enough. The organism is connected to the planet. It reacts to our emotions, yes, but it also learns. If we can guide it, we can teach it to stabilize itself permanently, but it will require trust and courage. Lyra hesitated for a moment, then nodded. I trust you. I'll do it. Marcus smiled faintly. Good. Then let's start. They moved to the center of the clearing, where the organism's influence was strongest. The vines around Lyra stirred lightly, sensing her presence. Marcus placed his hand on the trunk of a nearby glowing tree, feeling the faint pulse of the energy running through the forest. It reacts to me too, he said quietly. We'll need to focus together. Both of us. Lyra took a deep breath and reached out to touch the glowing vines surrounding her. Marcus guided her gently. Feel it, Lyra. Don't fight it. Let it sense your calm. The organism pulsed more slowly as Lyra concentrated. Marcus closed his eyes, focusing his own energy, trying to project calm and control. The vines responded, retracting slightly and glowing softer. Marcus realized the organism was listening, learning from their combined focus. This is incredible, he murmured. It's like it understands us. But only if we guide it. Lyra nodded, her brow furrowed in concentration. I can feel it. It's like it's part of me, and part of the forest too. Marcus smiled. Exactly. That's why we have to guide it carefully. If we lose focus, it could still grow uncontrollably. For hours, they worked together. Lyra maintained her calm. Marcus guided her focus, and the organism responded. Slowly, they began to understand its patterns. It reacted to fear and stress, yes, but it also reacted to hope, determination, and trust. The more they projected those feelings, the more it stabilized. But then, without warning, the forest trembled. A low, rumbling sound echoed through the trees, and Marcus's scanner beeped furiously. He looked up to see a cluster of vines moving toward them, larger and faster than anything they had seen before. It's trying to expand, Marcus shouted. We have to stop it. Lyra's eyes widened, panic rising. Marcus quickly grabbed her hand. Focus. Breathe. Calm yourself. Lyra nodded, forcing herself to take deep breaths. Marcus projected calm energy, his voice steady and firm. Slowly, the advancing vines began to slow. The organism inside Lyra pulsed, almost as if responding to their combined focus. The forest itself seemed to settle. It's working, Marcus said, relief flooding him. We're guiding it together. Lyra smiled faintly, exhausted but determined. I can do this. I can guide it. Marcus nodded. Good. Now, we need to take the next step. We have to guide it deeper into the forest to stabilize the areas it's affecting. They moved cautiously, vines responding to their presence. Marcus led the way, scanning for energy surges, while Lyra focused on keeping the organism calm and responsive. The forest was alive in a way that felt almost intelligent, reacting to every movement and every thought. As they progressed, they encountered patches of uncontrolled growth areas where the organism had spread too far. The vines were tangled, glowing intensely, and reaching outward. Marcus analyzed the patterns. These areas are unstable. We need to guide the organism through them carefully, or it could spread further. Lyra nodded. I'll try. I won't panic. Marcus placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. I know you won't. We'll do this together. They began working through the unstable patches. Lyra focused her energy, projecting calm and trust, while Marcus guided her movements and monitored the organism's response. Slowly, the vines began to relax, glowing softer and retracting. The organism responded, stabilizing each area as they passed. Hours passed, and the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the glowing forest. Marcus and Lyra were exhausted, but their progress was undeniable. The organism was no longer an uncontrollable force. It was learning, responding, and stabilizing itself. Look at that, Marcus said, pointing to a section of the forest they had stabilized. The vines pulsed gently, glowing softly, and the energy readings were steady. We're doing it. We're guiding it. Lyra smiled, a sense of pride and relief in her eyes. It feels peaceful now. Like it's finally listening. Marcus nodded. Yes. And that means we can take it further. We can stabilize the entire forest, maybe even the planet. But as they prepared to move deeper into the forest, Marcus noticed something unusual. A large, dark shape was moving in the distance, partially hidden by the glowing trees. He raised a hand. Wait, something's coming. Lyra followed his gaze, fear creeping into her expression. What is it? Marcus's scanner beeped urgently, detecting a massive energy surge. I'm not sure, but it's not part of the organism. Something else is reacting to it. The shape moved closer, revealing itself as a massive cluster of vines, larger and more aggressive than any they had seen before. The organism inside Lyra pulsed rapidly, almost as if recognizing a threat. We have to be careful, Marcus said, moving in front of Lyra. It senses danger, and it could react unpredictably. Lyra took a deep breath, focusing on calm. Marcus nodded. Good. We can do this. Together. As the massive cluster approached, Marcus and Lyra guided the organism, projecting calm and trust. The vines hesitated, pulsing erratically, but eventually slowed as the organism stabilized its energy. The massive cluster stopped its advance, seemingly sensing the balance Marcus and Lyra had created. Marcus exhaled, relief flooding him. Lyra smiled, exhausted but happy. We really can guide it. We really can. Marcus nodded. Yes. But this is only the beginning. The organism is still growing. We have to continue guiding it, learning from it, and understanding it fully. Only then will the planet be safe. As night fell, Marcus and Lyra set up a small camp in the now stable forest. The organism pulsed gently inside Lyra, its energy harmonizing with the glowing forest around them. Marcus monitored the readings, noting every subtle change. This is incredible, he murmured. We've turned a dangerous force into a partner, but we can't stop here. We have to understand it completely. Lyra reached out, placing her hand on Marcus's. I trust you. I'll keep guiding it. As long as you're here. Marcus smiled. And I'll be here. We'll guide it together, step by step, until it's safe and stable. Deep in the forest, the organism pulsed, sensing the calm and focus of its guides. The vines swayed gently, the glowing trees pulsed in harmony, and the entire forest seemed to breathe in rhythm with Marcus and Lyra. Marcus looked at Lyra, determination in his eyes. Tomorrow, we take it even further. We'll guide the organism to understand the entire forest, maybe even the planet. And we'll do it together. Lyra nodded, a small smile on her face. Yes, together. And as the night deepened, the glowing forest of Zythera 9 pulsed softly, a living testament to courage, trust, and the extraordinary bond between two beings willing to face the unknown together. The first light of morning bathed the forest of Zythera 9 inches soft golden green, mixing with the gentle bioluminescence that still lingered in the trees and vines. Marcus and Lyra awoke, both aware that today would be the most important day yet. The organism inside Lyra had calmed significantly, responding reliably to her focus and their combined guidance. But Marcus knew that partial control was not enough. They needed full stabilization not just for Lyra's safety, but for the planet itself. Today, Marcus said quietly, we guide it completely. We make it understand the forest, the trees, and the creatures. Only then will it stop spreading. Lyra nodded, determination shining in her luminescent eyes. I'm ready. I'll do whatever it takes. Marcus offered a reassuring smile. And I'll be with you every step. They moved carefully through the forest, the glowing vines seeming to recognize them as allies. Marcus guided Lyra toward the areas of greatest instability, the parts of the forest where the organism had spread the most. The vines there were thick, tangled, and pulsing rapidly, responding to every emotion Lyra displayed. This is it, Marcus whispered. We have to calm the organism fully, or it could react unpredictably. Lyra took a deep breath, closing her eyes and focusing on the feeling of calmness they had cultivated over the past days. Marcus mirrored her effort, projecting steady energy and calm confidence. Slowly, the pulsing of the vines began to slow, though the task ahead was far from over. The organism inside Lyra responded to their combined focus, pulsing gently and sending soft tendrils toward the surrounding unstable vines. Marcus realized the organism was trying to link with the forest itself, creating a network that would stabilize the ecosystem. It's working, he murmured. It's linking itself with the forest. But we need to guide it fully. We can't rush. Hours passed as they moved through the forest, carefully guiding the organism. Each time they reached a particularly unstable area, Lyra focused, and Marcus provided steady guidance. The organism responded, retracting aggressive vines and forming a controlled, glowing network. Slowly, the pulsing energy of the forest began to synchronize with theirs. This is amazing, Lyra said, eyes wide with wonder. It's like the forest itself is alive. And it's listening to us. Marcus nodded. It is alive. And now, it's learning to balance itself. That's the true power of what we're doing. But just as they were nearing the last unstable area, a sudden tremor shook the forest. Marcus's scanner beeped urgently, detecting a surge of energy from the far edge of the clearing. It's reacting, Marcus shouted. The organism senses danger in that area. We have to stabilize it quickly. Lyra's hands shook slightly, but Marcus took her hand, grounding her. Focus, Lyra. Calm yourself. Project trust, not fear. She nodded, taking deep, deliberate breaths. Together, they projected calm and stability toward the approaching surge of energy. The organism responded, extending gentle tendrils that enveloped the unstable vines, bringing them into balance. Slowly, the tremors subsided, and the glowing forest returned to a steady, harmonious pulse. Marcus exhaled, a smile forming on his face. We did it. The organism is fully stabilized. Lyra looked around in awe. The forest was transformed. The vines were no longer aggressive or erratic. Instead, they formed a glowing network of interconnected life, pulsing softly in harmony with the trees and the creatures moving within. The organism had become part of the planet's ecosystem, balanced and controlled. It feels peaceful, Lyra whispered. Like it's always been this way. But we just helped it remember. Marcus nodded. Exactly. We didn't destroy it or fight it. We guided it. That's the strength of understanding and cooperation. Lyra smiled, a sense of relief and accomplishment in her eyes. I never thought I could do something like this, but with you, I could. Marcus shook his head gently. No, Lyra. You did this. I just guided you. Your courage and focus made it possible. They spent the next hour walking through the stabilized forest, observing the organism's interaction with its environment. The vines gently intertwined with the trees, forming a glowing lattice that supported new growth. Small creatures emerged from the underbrush, moving confidently among the vines, no longer threatened by their wild energy. Marcus realized that the organism, now fully stabilized, could be a force for life and growth rather than destruction. It had learned to exist in harmony with the forest, guided by trust, focus, and the bond between human and alien. "This is incredible," Marcus said quietly. "We've turned a dangerous threat into a protector. The forest will thrive because of it." Lyra nodded, pride and wonder in her eyes. "And we did it together. I feel connected to the forest now. Connected to everything." Marcus smiled. "That's the lesson here. Understanding, courage, and cooperation can change even the most dangerous forces into allies. You've proven that today." As they set up a small camp in the center of the clearing, Marcus observed the organism one last time for the day. Its energy pulses were steady, gentle, and harmonious with the forest. The glowing trees seemed to mirror its rhythm, and even the small creatures moved confidently among the vines. The planet of Sci-Fi 9 was safe, at least for now. Lyra sat beside him, exhausted but happy. "I never imagined I could do this. I thought the organism would destroy me. Or the forest. But we made it something beautiful." Marcus placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Yes. And this is only the beginning. There may be other challenges, but we've learned something important. Fear doesn't conquer life. Understanding, courage, and cooperation do." Lyra smiled faintly. "I feel stronger now. Like I can face anything." Marcus nodded. "And you will. You've already faced the unknown and turned it into an ally. That's something very few beings can do." As night fell, the forest of Sci-Fi 9 glowed softly, the organism's energy pulses harmonizing with the trees, vines, and creatures. Marcus and Lyra sat quietly, watching the peaceful rhythm of life they had helped create. "This planet, it feels alive in a way I've never felt before," Marcus said quietly. "And we helped it find balance." Quote. Lyra looked at him, her eyes reflecting the glowing forest. "Thank you, Marcus, for trusting me and for guiding me. I couldn't have done this alone." Marcus shook his head with a smile. "No, we did it together. That's the most important part. You've proven that courage, empathy, and understanding can overcome even the greatest dangers." The two sat in silence, feeling the harmony of the forest around them. The organism inside Lyra pulsed gently, a steady heartbeat in sync with the planet. Marcus realized that their bond with the organism and the forest had created something extraordinary, a living network of trust and life that could thrive for generations. This is what being human, or any intelligent being, is really about, Marcus said quietly to himself, facing the unknown, understanding it, and turning danger into life. "That's the true power we have." Lyra leaned back, her hand brushing lightly against the glowing vines. "It feels peaceful, safe, like everything is in its right place." Marcus nodded. "Yes. And that's because we didn't fight it. We guided it. We became part of its life, and it became part of ours. That's the lesson of Sci-Fi 9. For the first time, Marcus felt a deep sense of accomplishment. They had faced an unknown, dangerous organism and turned it into an ally. They had protected an entire planet, not through force or technology alone, but through courage, empathy, and understanding. The night deepened, and the forest glowed softly in response. Marcus and Lyra lay back, watching the gentle pulsing of the vines and trees, the rhythm of life echoing in their minds. The planet was safe, and the organism was controlled, a testament to the power of trust, courage, and cooperation. Marcus smiled faintly, thinking about the future. There would be more unknown planets, more strange life forms, more challenges, but he now understood something he had never known before. Real heroism was not just about strength or intelligence. It was about empathy, courage, and the willingness to understand and guide, even in the face of the unknown. Lyra turned to him, her eyes glowing softly in the bioluminescent light. "We did it, Marcus." "Together." Marcus nodded, looking around at the harmonious forest. "Yes, together. And this is only the beginning of what we can achieve when we face the unknown with courage and understanding." And as the soft glow of Zythera 9 pulsed around them, Marcus realized that the greatest victories were not fought with weapons or machines, but with trust, empathy, and the courage to turn fear into hope. The organism inside Lyra pulsed gently, the vines swaying softly, and the entire forest seemed to breathe in harmony. The planet was alive, balanced, and thriving. And Marcus knew that, together, they had changed its destiny forever.